Hey guys, so I wanted to come on here and talk about the 90 Day Fiance Season 4 Tell All Part 2. And this episode, it was extensive. It was 2 hours. Of course, everybody who watched it knows. So right now I'm stating the obvious. But anyway, it started off with Ashley and her nasty attitude. She just really looks neurotic. She looks like she is vengeful and controlling, which she stated as much. She also said Jay cheated on her a second time in April, but he has his own place. And I already knew he had his own place because Ashley actually caught a misdemeanor case for throwing, I think, a fire hydrant through Jay's window. And so she caught a case over that. So I already knew they were fully separated, getting a divorce. Jay's moved out. One thing that Ashley did do is she admitted that there was a lot of things that contributed to her divorce, which was her nasty attitude, her controlling ways, her treating Jay like a child. She said that, hey guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody who subscribed to me on Patreon and who continue to support via Patreon. If you want to become a patron and support, you can click the link in the description box and become a patron to support the channel. You can also support via PayPal or through Cash App, and the links to those will be there as well. If you choose to support via Patreon, you will get access to exclusive live streams, exclusive contents, and any other content that I put there that is not on YouTube. And again, thanks and a big shout out to everyone who already subscribed. After the episode where we saw that he was there for her while she was sick with lupus and she got out the hospital, she then started trying to control him again and holding his green card over his head. And it would have been nice if she would have admitted that she falsely accused him of rape during that time too, because I showed you guys the text messages where she made that accusation, and those were in the blogs, but there was no mention of that. And I wish there had been. I wish they also would have addressed the stuff that Jay's sister said about Ashley, her nasty copperfish smell, as well as her sugar daddy. Jay did allude to some of that. I mean, he didn't throw her under the bus like she threw him under, but he did make some statements about her talking to her ex. There was no mention of the sugar daddy that Jay's sister accused her of having. Then they brought towards the end the two dudes from the barbershop, Kendall, and this is what I don't like. And I'm going to say this is really interesting, and it kind of plays into everything I talk about with black men. This is one of the examples, because Jay also said that he found text messages going back and forth from Kendall and Ashley, and he suspected that Kendall wanted to hook up with Ashley. But what was disturbing to me was their willingness to sit up there and throw him under the bus and suggest that he was only with Ashley because he wanted a green card, when it literally doesn't make any sense for somebody to repeatedly cheat and jeopardize their relationship if their sole purpose is to get a green card. It's like, how retarded would you have to be to do that? You know that the goal is to get a green card, but you keep cheating to sabotage it. I don't think that Jay was with her because he wanted to get a green card. Even if he was, that was only part of it. Most of it had to be due to other reasons, like maybe he really did like her. Keep in mind that he is young. He met her when he was 17, and Ashley alluded to that. Jay's sister talked about how long they had been together and how horribly she treated Jay. And Ashley mentioned this on there too. She talked about how horribly she treated him. And she seems just neurotic, and she does seem like she has a bad smell as well. Jay gets on my nerves, but again, he's young. Hopefully he'll get out and find a new relationship like Larissa did. I do want to move on though to Man Titty Colt and Larissa. And you know, the thing of it is in this segment, what I really don't like is that no one held Colt accountable for anything. They made it seem like it's normal for Larissa to be in a marriage with Colt, but have to deal with his mother as if she's also married to him. So I do think Larissa was a little bit extra when they brought Eric, her new boyfriend, on, and she began to cuddle and kiss him. And I do feel like she did that just to get at Colt and his mom, and rightfully so, and they are deserving of it. And I think it's ridiculous, and there's something mentally wrong with them, that they would try to tell her she's wrong for having her boyfriend on camera, which she actually didn't even ask for him to be on camera. Sean Robinson did, but yet they jumped down her throat and act like she was wrong simply for having a new man when she is divorced from Colt, who called the police on her 3 times, had a relationship with his mother where he's disrespecting her, put his mother before her, completely disregarded the relationship, and then act like Larissa should move on. Larissa looked happier. She looked like she lost weight and got her shape in order. The man that she's with is better for her, and I'm happy that she won her case. I don't know how many people watched the show to the very end, but at the very end, they showed the outcome of Larissa's case. She only has to pay $345, and she has to do a small number of community service, but they reduced her charge to a misdemeanor, so it doesn't affect her ability to stay in the country. But she does now she says she does have some things that she has to do to maintain her position, and she can move on with her relationship. So I'm actually happy for Larissa. I don't think that she should have had to deal with or put up with Colt. I think that she had already dealt with enough. And even if she was in the country only for a green card, the fact that she had to have sex with him, deal with his man titties, deal with his overbearing old mother who shouldn't have been there, she's very well deserving of that green card. And hopefully her and her new boyfriend will be on the next season of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. I want to move on though to Andre and Elizabeth, because their segment was very short. It was really, the highlight of it really was when Elizabeth told Andre that he wants to be the head of the household while she pays all the bills. That was paramount to me, because he's so egotistical, he's so prideful, he acts like he's an alpha man, but really his actions are very beta. It's like you don't have a job, you don't provide, all you do is act off of emotion. When you're in a situation when you can't provide for your family and you have a child on the way, it's not about your pride. You don't get to have pride in a situation where you have no job. When you have a job and you're bringing in the money and you're able to provide for your family, then yes, you can have pride. But the fact that he would put his pride over his family and supporting them is a problem. He's talking about he's the man of the house when really Elizabeth's dad, Chuck, is the man of the house, because he's the one providing everything for the house. Then did y'all hear that her dad said he gave him a substantial amount of money for a down payment on the truck? So basically he gave him a down payment on a semi truck, which would help him to own the semi truck when he does truck driving. That will literally propel him to instantly making a whole bunch of money. Yet this dude don't have a job. Then when they asked him, do he have a job? He says, oh, I have a job. I have a job. Sometimes I work 40 hours, sometimes 60, sometimes none. Okay, that's not a full-time job. That's called on-call. That's an on-call job, basically. And he's sitting here acting like he's working full time, paying the bills, when really she is. You can tell that she's fronting most. He's not bringing any money in, y'all. He's trying to say that he is, but he's really not. And now they have a lot of stuff to pay for. And he's talking about, oh, we'll be fine, we'll be okay. I can foresee them being on the next season of Happily Ever After, and her dad will still be paying their bills. And the thing of it is with Pau and Russ, I don't think that they're going to be back on the show. Ashley and Jay aren't going to be back on the show because their relationships have dissolved. Pau and Russ are basically off and on. There's been reports out several times, even before this entire season came out, that they are completely off and on. You heard her say in there that most of the time she can't even stand him. She feels like she was raising her child alone because he works too much and he won't take time off to help her with a new baby. And she said that she doesn't want that baby to be the only reason why she's married to him. And I think that's very smart, because most of the time people do remain in unhealthy, toxic relationships because they're built up on this idea that somehow being married to their child's other parent is going to solidify the relationship, when really it's not. You can't be in a dysfunctional marriage and then not have that dysfunction fall down to your child and affect your child. What they should do is dissolve the relationship and co-parent, because it sounds like that might be a better situation. But if Pal is saying that she's raising that child on her own, then they have bigger issues. And I never really liked Russ anyway. I don't feel like Russ is her type. I feel like she needs an alpha male and Russ is a beta male. And I think that his whiny disposition is the exact opposite of hers. She needs a man that's going to be very dominant and that's going to take control of things. And Russ is just not that. And I think that hopefully she'll move on and find somebody who is like that. And then her and Russ can co-parent, and they can both be there for their child. But right now it just seems like they're not functioning right. I want to move on to Nicole and Avin. Nicole literally has to be the most delusional person on the face of the earth. I don't see how she really has convinced herself sometimes that she is going to marry Avin. Literally, you could look at the faces of everybody on there when she's always mentioning marriage and having kids with Avin. They so badly want to say it's never going to happen. And Russ all but said, chick, it's never going to happen. He's lying to you and using you. At this point, he's not even using her. Nicole knows what's up. She just simply doesn't care. She's living in a fantasy and the delusion of somebody who looks way better than her, somebody how liking her. And did anybody notice how she's getting bigger and bigger with every season? Like, the fact of the matter is, I get that she wants to be her weight and she does not have to lose weight if she doesn't want to. But the reality of it is he values health, he values fitness, he values exercise. She said that when she met him, he was a fitness trainer. Therefore, why would he want someone that's morbidly obese and could literally be a candidate on my 600-pound life? So that's a problem, and she refuses to lose weight. We've seen her attempt to exercise on her own one time on a show, and she did 2 squats as if that was going to do something for her. She literally needs some gastric bypass surgery. She needs to be in a fitness plan, and she needs to have some health coaching, because the reality, and she needs to have some domestic skills, because I swear every time they're filming, she has a dirty house. She hasn't vacuumed her floor, it seems like, in years. She always has clothes thrown all over the place. She is not fit to be anybody's wife, yet she has her child calling this man daddy, and she hasn't even seen him in a year. She's setting her child up for failure just because she doesn't want to face the reality that this man is not into her. Like, they need to do a show called He's Just Not That Into You, based solely on her situation. I don't know why she couldn't see it. Ray Charles is dead and blind, and he can see that this man is not into her. So the reality of it is it's just really problematic. And she's just sitting there crying, talking about, oh, I got emotional because I was just thinking about when I had May and how it's going to be when me and Adson have kids. Adson's not having kids with you. He's not marrying you. And then when they asked about them taking off the wedding ring, she sits here and says she took off hers. You're not married. Do y'all not know how delusional she is? You're not married to him. It doesn't matter how much you take off a ring that you bought. He didn't even marry you. It's just, I can't. Like, I want Nicole off the show, but she's gonna, 3.5 years, she says she's been trying to marry this man. Clearly, it wouldn't take 3.5 years to get married. The man doesn't want to marry you. Moving right along. It's just ridiculous. You guys, that was basically the tell-all in a nutshell. I mean, I have a feeling we'll see more of Nicole's delusion. I can't deal with her. But in any event, I will be reviewing the new season of Before the 90 Days. It's coming on this next Sunday, so you guys will probably see that review Monday or Tuesday, and I may have something up before then introducing you guys to the couples. I'm going to try to find out who they are. We already know a couple of them, Angela Deem and Michael, from the past before the 90 days, the last season of it, so they're returning. And then you have Darcy and her sister Stacy. Darcy cannot keep a man to save her life, yet she was just on Pillow Talk talking about other people's relationship. But anyways, I'll be reviewing that show, so you guys look for those reviews. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you in the next one.